What's going on, guys? It is Laser here with another weekend video analysis. It is Friday night, basically just before midnight. I should be sleeping. You might even be able to even hear it in my voice. I'm super tired, and I was actually getting ready to go to bed, and I realized, oh crap, I'm not going to have time tomorrow again. Tomorrow's going to be another busy day. I've just been super duper busy. Life's been busy, but I love making these videos, which is why we're out here. I'm going out here to do this. And again, that's just going to be my message week over week over week as a friendly reminder. If you got something that you love to do, don't stop doing it just because life is hard. You got to get out there and you got to do it. If you're brand new here, we drop one of these videos once per week. We like to share where we see NIO going. If you missed last week's video, definitely check it out. We talked about it, talking about maybe the bottom is in, or it's pretty damn close to where it's in. We had earnings. We had that really strong wick, and then it kind of started moving up higher. And I'm going to talk about where things are going. I'm going to lean a little bit into the velocity just because it makes these videos a lot more streamlined and easier for me to kind of explain where the stock is going. Ideally, it's not a really good habit to get into, but just for the sake of, keeping you guys all on the same page here, I really am going to just lean here and do an analysis on the velocity. The velocity is down here. So if you're new here, we're going to kind of measure where we see things going. Now, I talked about last week about us forming and we're going to dive right in, by the way, guys. And before we're done and wrapped up this video, we're not only going to finish talking about NIO, but we'll talk about BABA, we'll talk about the Seng index, and then we'll touch up on the Dixie to kind of really piece together the puzzle pieces as to where things are going. So where are we here? So this yellow line, for those of you who don't know, is a 200-day moving average. And I talked about it last week, about it setting up and forming a higher low. And in fact, if you're just looking on the 200-day moving average, it's kind of like an inverted head and shoulders here. The most recent low being the lower low. And I talked about it making a higher low. And I think last week we were just under, and now it's curling up. Now what you really want to see is you want to see that curl higher up and kind of go. And I'm loving what I'm seeing here so far from a 200-day moving average. It's still in the works here where we could see an explosive move up. And the bottom being in on that earnings, I think, is very, very, very high at 331. And so these dips that you were seeing this week were dipped down to 350. That's your chance to kind of like buy the dip, I think, before it rips. I think these are really, really good opportunities to really try and get into NIO now if you're looking to catch the next move higher. Of course, it's just my opinion. That's just the 24 hours. Now if we were to dive into actually the 2-hour time frame, now we talked about this in my last week's video, how I said okay, we need to see a break before we can really confidently call the bottom. Now if we were to draw out a trend line, and when I mean a break, I mean I'm talking about like something like this, right? And that is so beautiful. Clean velocity break. Now I can show you the last time you got a velocity break, guys, which just took place right over here. Now it wasn't super clean on the pullback. It actually kind of chopped up a bit, but that was kind of when things started to move, which was like, that was like your signal, like things are going to move. One more last dip and it ripped. Now we have the signal, which is the breakout. Now, what you could be seeing forming here is it could be a higher low that could be forming, which would look kind of like this higher low. So if this is our velocity break and we're forming that higher low, you could see something like this, and it could rip. Essentially, that higher low is going to give us that second trend line on our velocity, which is really like, if you really don't want to like mess around and you want to really, really time it. Let me just draw this out for you guys real quick. You had that first break on the velocity, and then you can draw a second one. There's your second break, and that very first pullback right here, which would have allowed you to get long right at $3.20. Give or take 320-ish, 330, and wrote up a really nice move up higher. I think we're setting up for something very, very similar. So things are looking pretty decent, pretty good on that 2-hour time frame, and I think we're very damn close to that bottom. I'm liking it even better now that it's given us that velocity break here. I've liked it. I liked NIO last week. I like it more this week. Now, if we were to talk about timing, we talked about this last time, about how long it was in a downtrend. I don't know if we were measuring it from, I think we were, yeah, I'm pretty sure we were measuring it from here. Because if this was the run, we are in 86 days. In fact, come Monday, that'll be like your 3 months. Come Monday, 3 months is over. So from here, basically all the way to here, that's your 3 month downtrend. Ready for run. I mean, technically this was a run and a rally, but if we're talking about something major, something big, I think something big is brewing here for NIO. Now there is another part of the element of the analysis. Technical analysis is actually drawing on the charts, but that's going to extend my video and make it a lot longer. So I don't know if I want to actually take the time to really dive in here actually, but I've had some people come to me and said like, NIO looks really good, a big level. And I'm going to talk, I think I might have had these drawn out. It's going to be 409 and 550. So while I think the big move is coming, it'll be critical that when it comes up and retests 409, that we get a break above that and we launch into that next zone, which is going to be 450. Those are going to be, that's what we want to see. So what we want to do into next week is we want to see how it's going to respond when it rises. I do believe it's going to rise into 409. I think that's coming. That's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And it's probably going to look something similar to this, where you'll get that break and the retest, something like a dance, and boom. And so when you're looking at NIO right now at 360, I think it's like at an awesome discounted rate, awesome price. Like, you don't have earnings in the way either. Come on. You got to look at the rest of the puzzle pieces though, not just NIO. Let's go ahead and look at some other stocks. Let's go quickly dive into BABA. BABA is just, I think I talked about this last time. I guess I didn't save the drawing, but I was like, there's your 1 and there's your 2. I think I talked about it being a 2. Did I do that right? I want to say I did that right. Whether it's there or that, let's just, yeah, that's your 2. And you guys are probably thinking 1 and 2. What the hell is Laser talking about? There's your 1, your first major trend line breakout. Jesus, I can't type here. 1 and the second. Now, what does that mean when you get those 2 trend line breaks? Typically, that gives you the green lights to run to the top of the channel. Top of the channel being, here we go. I'm gonna do it like that. This is gonna make more sense to a lot of people. There's 1. And 2, you know, are we coming to 167? Is 167 going to be next? Right? Possibly. Right? And that's just one way of doing it. You could also go down here. This also works. You could do it like that. Look where it bounced here. So if not 160, 136, and then above 136, $180. Now this is the interesting thing here in BABA. You're either going to get 180 or you're going to get 97. Both like potential, but given that you have a 1. You can argue that's like a 2. It is ready. Where's my arrow? I think it's ready to come up there. So bullish on BABA, bullish on NIO. Seng index. And I think we talked about this last week. And I'm like, it's coming down. And it's just starting to lift. I'm not even sure when it started to do that. Was it just on Monday. Oh yeah, this whole week it just said whoop reversal. So it looked good, and I thought like for sure it wants to go for 24, and that looks like exactly where it's trying to do. You got your 1, you got your 2. Let her rip. 24, 25 I think is going to be coming, and if it can get above that, 28. Dixie, really hot mess here. Maybe you guys can follow here. I'm just going to try and delete some of these drawings so it's not so messy. I think what you're looking at here is you are seeing Dixie basing out here. You're seeing this play out. It is kind of like in this range, and you're just going to get that big push up. I think it's coming here. It's just been holding steady, and I think that's coming. You look at the velocity, by the way. It's just about to get going. Like we are just about to get going on the Dixie, and which if you watch my last 6 video, I was suggesting that the last time the Dixie made this big move, as it was going up and making a big move, Seng index had one of its biggest rallies ever. It had this move, as some of you guys might recall. It made this whoosh move, which was just insane. And if it can do that, that would be beautiful. And look at that. Oh, on the 24-hour, dipped under, broke right back above. I love that. Absolutely love that. So I'm a bit rambling here. I don't know if I have much to talk about. I think I've kind of like laid out my points and my thesis. I hope you guys get the image, and or the point here is that I'm very bullish. I think we're very early stages of a bigger rally that's about to start. Timing wise, it makes complete sense. You could see it maybe do this, you know, because I think this is what's happening right now. Is you got like that one move up, bounced up, maybe one more down move, and off to the races. Maybe, like, if you're lucky, you might see like that dip. Super close. I think that big move is coming. But that's it. Yeah, very bullish going into next week as well. And now that earnings is completely out of the way, I guess it's just really just going to be deliveries week over week over week. And one of these weeks, NIO's is going to hit it big on their deliveries, and it's just going to go whoop. Technicals are calling for that big move. It's coming. You can just see that huge move. Brand new high, actually. So something big is coming, guys. Patience. That wraps up my video. If there are any other questions, don't forget to ask those questions in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and my analysis, definitely give me the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube video. And that's it. I just got to say, hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend, and cheers.